ஆயுர்வேதம் ஒரு பொக்கிஷம் நம் ஆயுள் நீட்டக்கும் அற்புதம். டாக்டர் ஸ்ரீவர்மாஸ்.
Happy morning to you and all the participants. Sri Annamalai ji is a well-known personality not only in Tamil Nadu, even in Karnataka, as he has served Karnataka for 9 long years as Superintendent of Police and also Deputy Commissioner of Police in Bangalore itself. He has a lot of fans in Karnataka. In fact, it was evident that when we wanted to list the guest speakers to be invited for this prestigious ULC guest lecture series. In fact, many of our students have proposed the name of Sri Annamalai ji, who is well known for his honesty and commitment. And of course, he has resigned for police service with an intention to devote himself for the cause of public. And accordingly, he has also established an organization with the leaders. And he is a very eloquent speaker with a powerful message. I extend you a very warm welcome on behalf of Bangalore University and University Law College and all the faculty and students. And I also extend a warm welcome to our professors, Dr. Sudesh, Professor Dashrath, Chairman and Dean, and all other faculty members and all the participants and all our students. Thank you. So now I request Sri Annamalai ji to kindly go ahead with his lecture.
Thank you so much, sir. Respected patron, Vice Chancellor, Bangalore University, Professor Dr. K.R. Venugopal, principal who kind of cut short the whole time to about a minute to introduce me, and fantastic introduction. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Suresh, the organizing committee and other faculty members. Sorry, I'm joining 10-15 minutes late because the internet is down in my village. I had to travel about 20 kilometers to a nearby city to take the Zoom call. My kind apologies for that because of heavy rains yesterday. So today the topic that is given to me is a very simple topic. If you look from the outside, it's a very simple topic, but it's very complicated to do it in practice. It is reforms in criminal justice system. So you all know, you are fantastic lawyers, budding lawyers. You all know about criminal justice system. I will not get into any of that about what is criminal justice system, what makes of it. Straight away, I'm coming to my part. There are many wheels to a criminal justice system. Police is a very important wheel. So today I'll take this opportunity to talk about policing as a system, so that I can spotlight a certain highlight of what policing is all about, the reforms that is needed inside the policing, so that you as lawyers in the next many years would appreciate police for the system it is. Now, if you look at it, police, the origin goes back to the concept of darogas, which is in the 18th century when the East India Company was here. They had a concept called daroga, which originated from the Bengali word, part of West Bengal, where an area of about 20 square kilometers was given to a particular person called darog, who was in charge of maintaining it. So the proper scientific methodology of policing came after the 1860, after the Sepoy Mutiny or the Indian War of Independence, where the British Crown took over India and they started putting some professional practice inside the country. So we got the 1861 Indian Police Act, so which mandated what to do, what not to do, what is the job of a police. For a long time, till about 1947, the main job of a police was to quell the internal rebellion, take care of law and order issues, things like that. But the masters were very clear. It is the British Crown who are the masters, or the viceroys who are ruling here. So post-independence, it's a very complicated democracy, no doubt about that. It's a very complicated democracy, all states and different dialects, different languages. But in the constitution, when the debate was happening in the formation of constitution 1946 to 1950 in the Constituent Assembly, police was purposefully kept in the state list, meaning the states have to take charge of their policing issues, and the union can only aid and advise the states with respect to policing. So because of that, each of the states have a very varied policing culture. States like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, we have a very different set of cultures. If you go to other parts like UP, the Madhya Pradesh and Haryana's and other, they have different culture. Again, Maharashtra, Gujarat, they have a different culture. You can clearly feel the professionalism differs from state to state. The responsiveness differs from state to state. So the central government is trying its best to do it, but by constitutional mandate, it is with the state list. So they can't bring in major policy measures. So to do this, what has happened is we had two major national police commissions in the later part of 1970s, So 2 national police commissions were there, which had given big reports about changes that is needed and all those stuff. After that, we had some other major reforms also. The Supreme Court has stepped in, and it has also made a committee. It has made a Model Police Act. So Model Police Act it has circulated all the Model Police Act to all the states with a time-bound manner to implement it. So it is not a very happy state to say that the states have implemented it fully. Some states have implemented it partially, and some states still find a way to somehow dodge it. Like Kerala, to an extent, has gone to the spirit of the act. State like Kerala, Karnataka has got about 70-80% of the spirit of the act. Tamil Nadu has got about 70-80%. But many states haven't even made a decent effort to really go to the spirit of what the Model Police Act is about. See, Model Police Act was drafted by a group of very eminent lawyers, Soli Sorabji and other people, and which was approved by the Supreme Court of India, which was given to all the states. The basic crux of the act is about putting public at the core of what we are trying to do, and making sure that police really functions in a very democratic way. And the police are also insulated from the political pressure. Maybe their transfers are not given at whims and fancy. They have a certain time frame, 1 year, 2 year, where they can serve in a particular post. And also the disciplinary action that is needed against police when they err in their duty. So this act was a very fine act which was covering all the aspects to it. After that, again, a retired IPS officer, very senior IPS officer, was he filed a writ petition to the Supreme Court of India, stating that it is not implemented properly. And again, Supreme Court has mandated some changes to the Model Police Act. And again, it's not a very happy state to say that it is not happening. So this is the introduction, quick introduction of where the police was, what Daroga is all about, what the Daroga is all about, and what Daroga is all about, and later the 1861 Police Act, and later the commissions, and the Supreme Court mandated Model Police Act. Now coming to the present state of policing. So where are we now in the criminal justice system? Now, the Indian police is a very unique police system, because the reason is the recruitment happens at 4 levels. The recruitment happens at a constable level, the recruitment happens at a sub-inspector level, the recruitment happens at a DYSP, Deputy Superintendent of Police level, and the recruitment happens at the IPS level. So 4 different levels. So going by the spirit of the constitution, the first 3 layers are recruited by the state, meaning the constables, the sub-inspectors and the DYSPs are recruited by the state, because it's a state subject. But since the Article 311, it talks about an All India service, and IPS being an All India service that is recruited by the Union Public Service Commission, and the center allocates IPS officers to states based on the state's request of vacancies, how many vacancies they have. So the IPS officers, though they are recruited by the center, by the UPSC, the moment they come to a state, they get absorbed within the cadre. So their boss becomes the chief minister, and their disciplinary authority becomes the governor. Of course, the final disciplinary authority is the President of India. So this is the system. Now, what are the major reforms needed? The 2 kind of reforms I'm seeing here. One is an internal reform, second is an external reform. Before coming for the external reform, I'm more interested to talk about the internal reform. Internal reform is the police themselves as a system. We have to take care of what is happening inside, so that we are well tuned to the democratic system that is we are well tuned to the democratic system that is in place outside. If you look at the internal systems, the number 1 point is the way the recruitments happen for a constable. You and me understand that as a common man, when we go to a police station, we face the constable. It is not that every police station some IPS officer is sitting or a big officer is sitting. So it is that constable who reacts to you and me, who gives that justice to you and me, who listens to you and me. And more importantly, when he goes outside in the road, in the hot sun, doing a traffic duty, it is you and me interact with them. So the constable who is recruited is serving at the cutting edge level. The problem is the way constable is recruited. That is a big problem now in the internal reform. Now we have a certain qualification called a 10th standard pass, basic qualification for a constable he comes. Now, you know the quality of input we get. So we get what kind of input we get. So that input has to be trained well. And because of the large scale recruitment that is happening across the country, the training from 9 months has already come down to 7 months. Initially, the training was for a year. Now, just imagine 7 months you train a person at the age of 26, 27, 28. Can you really imprint all the ethos of policing into him, and can you send to him? Can you send him to the field? And the unfortunate part is also the many constables for the next 30, 35 years till they retire from the service, they might not go for another mandated training. So maybe they might do one training within the district that is also organized not very professionally. So next 30, 34 years, the initial training keeps him in good spirit and good state, which I am not very sure whether that one training can take him for 35 years. If you look at the other country, like German police or the Australian police, some of the finest police we have in the same Commonwealth system, but Germany is not part of the Commonwealth. But if we can take Australia, which is part of the Commonwealth, so they have a certain recruitment, which is only one level recruitment. Everybody joins at one level. So that guy keeps climbing up and up and up and up, finally becomes a chief. So there is no multiple level recruitment. So moment they go for a one level recruitment, they are very confident they're getting the best quality of talent at that side. So India has gone for a 4-level recruitment. So 4-level recruitment, maybe the British has felt it is the right thing for India. The Indian constitution makers also felt it's the right thing for India, because the society is still in a flux. It is not a very ordered society, not a very uniform society. So maybe we felt 4 levels are needed. Now in the 4 levels, when you come to the constable, the first thing that is required is, like the American model, German model, and the Australian model, a constable after a certain point of time has to be tested, has to be trained again. Only then he should be given a promotion. Promotions we are giving time bound now, which is really not great, because even the bad appeals find a way to get promoted to the next level. So a certain efficiency has to be brought into the promotion and the training system for each of the constables. This is one of the internal reform that is being advocated for a long time. Now, why states are not doing it? So we got to be practical also. There is no point about talking in the textbook. Now, the practical thing is states don't have money. If you look at any state, they don't have money to fulfill their basic obligations only. If you take a state like Tamil Nadu, to meet the shortfall in budget, it borrows about 70,000 crore. If you look at a state like Karnataka, to meet the budget shortfall, it borrows about 40,000 crore. Meaning the state is not able to mobilize enough revenue to take care of its own expenditure, maybe a public-oriented expenditure. If that is a criteria, when you talk to a minister or a political guy saying that we need better recruitment, we need better training, so they don't have any money to be spared for the policing. That is why the policing is always given a short shrift in the budget. So they get very little, and those money also goes for their salary and other things. So none of the money gets invested into a capital expenditure, a capital asset like a training institute or something. So one is the recruitment model is faulty because the government doesn't want to spend much money in recruitment. It doesn't want to recruit more people also. Coming to the second part of reform internally that is needed, the police work for more hours. Average police guy works more than 14 hours, at least 15 hours he works, 14 to 15 hours. Now that is humanly impossible. If we push our body beyond 10 hours, it's a basic common sense that the brain will not be at its optimum ability and the digestive system will not be good. So because you are pushing your body to a limit which humanly it is not possible, that you are standing for about 6-7 hours daily. So what happens is you get that belly fat because your digestion is not happening proper. You have a lot of stress. So that is why you see most of the policemen, especially at the lower rank, they look unfit. It is not that they eat all the stuff they want to. Even if they eat very little, because of the body stress induced hormones which is inside, and the huge amount of time waiting outside, they get that belly fat. Now, this is something that needs to be addressed very badly as part of the internal reforms again. To do that, if you don't want a guy who's working for 15 hours and to work for only 8 hours, meaning you got to bring a shift system inside. So if you bring a shift system inside, meaning after 8 hours, the person can go back home and he need not work, then what happens is you got to recruit twice the person now. So Karnataka has got about 1,05,000 now. So Bangalore city itself has got about 30,000 plus, meaning you got to recruit extra. If you recruit extra, who pays money for them? That is another expenditure that the government has to bear. So government doesn't want to do that because it doesn't have money. Now to link why it doesn't have to have the money, the link is the government spends money maybe on other sectors unwisely. It is not spending money on some sectors wisely. So this is the link now. The intentions are there, but the commitment is not there because again, it comes down to the role of money. The government doesn't have enough money. So that is why practically this kind of reforms fail. Now, the second internal reform that is needed is at the level of sub-inspectors and DYSP. Now, these are slightly higher up in the ranks and the perception for most of us when we see from outside is they are corrupt and they are dishonest and all those stuff. But I can tell you most of the people are fantastic. They're very good. But the only problem is they live in a very democratic system that is so bloody complex. This democratic system is very complex. So many parties and insecure politicians, not sure whether they can win the next election. So what happens is they use policing as a tool to take control of their local constituency or to take control of their local politics. So the sub-inspector matters in a police station, or the inspector matters in the police area. So the politician naturally what they do is they find a way to keep their person inside. They always find a way to keep somebody whom they are close to. So herein rises the political corruption. So an officer is close to me and the MLA wants him, he gets posted. A good officer who maintains a neutrality never gets posted to a good place. So the unfortunate part of a state like Karnataka is, Karnataka somehow has got a system where the MLA chooses whom he wants to be. The MLA chooses who the inspector should be, who the sub-inspector should be. And this is happening for the last 10-15 years, but this is a very unfortunate part. So what happens the moment the MLA chooses who should be the local, the sub-inspector and the inspector? So there goes the loyalty, there goes the political interference that comes in. So this is a big problem. So this is where the Model Police Act, the Supreme Court has mandated that there should be an appointments committee which has to be free from all the political influence. And this appointments committee has to make sure the officers who get posted get a stability of tenure, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. The state government can mandate it. Till then, they shouldn't get disturbed. Now, we see cases where people get disturbed in 4 months, people get disturbed in 5 months. So how can a justice be given in a police station? An officer needs about 2-3 months to settle down. We transfer him in 6 months. So 3 months is the time he's working. By the time the next officer comes, he takes another 3 months to settle down. So how will a common man get justice? So this is the problem which the Honorable Supreme Court has clearly identified that issue and talked about the mandated term where an officer should work. Now coming to the IPS level, the Indian Police Service recruitment level, the IPS is fantastic. Now people get recruited, they come into the state and work. But one internal reform that is badly needed is a level of insulation that is needed for all the officers. They also need a particular insulation so that they are not afraid of where they get posted, where they get transferred, what is a big post in Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or Kerala. Their only allegiance lies with the Constitution of India. Their only allegiance lies with taking care of the system. So these internal reforms are badly needed. And one more in the larger perspective is the human resource management. So a system where about 105,000 people work, it has got a very poor human resource management. So we make most of the lower level people, the constabulary, to work based on threat. If you don't do this, I'm going to suspend you. If you don't do this, I'm going to punish you. But if you look at the good corporate practices across the world, now the thing is people work not based on stick, people work based on carrot. Meaning I give them incentives, I take care of their environmental factors, I take care of their hygiene factors. So that what happens is, these people are totally loyal to the system because then officers take care of you and nobody ill-treats you. Nobody punishes you. So that is badly lacking. So leadership, commitment to a cause and a forward-looking vision. So these are the main ingredients of internal reforms. For that, we need a solid chief minister, a solid home minister who has to decide the next 2-3 years, I'm going to set it up right. I'm going to give postings to a fair guy, fantastic guy, honorable guy, and all the bad apples I'm going to weed out. So this needs extraordinary political will. Many a time they touch police, even the political survival will be in question. Now coming to the external reforms, what are the external reforms that is needed? The Indian police is very poorly equipped. Normally when you send somebody to a war, it's very important that you give them a proper sword, a proper fighting equipment to go fight and come. If you don't give him a fighting equipment, if you don't give him a proper sword to fight, if you don't give him a proper sword to fight, so how will people give justice to the war? How will people deliver what they want? So the unfortunate part of the Indian police is the system in which they work. The police stations needs to improve massively. The vehicles that is given to them needs to improve massively. And even the uniform, the body armor, whatever they wear has to improve massively. So there is a lot of money that needed to be put to make the system efficient. Without giving tools, how will they work? You go to a police station, most of the police stations you and me see, old chairs, old tables, and water filter facilities not available. And I'm not talking about the North Indian states. I'm talking of the so-called developed South Indian states now, where the state itself consciously puts some money for development. So the police system is so bad because it doesn't have facilities to work. Now we are talking about a woman constable. If she's coming to work, should have a crèche system to take care of a baby. The woman constable should have a system where she can rest, or the male constables also should have a room where they can rest at least for 2-3 hours in the afternoon by rotation, and a gym or a proper canteen to take care of good food. And we don't do that. I was very surprised when I went to a police station in Germany, in Munich. The German police station itself is about 7 floors. 7 floors is the police station. The first 2 floors, the top 2 floors, are essentially only for gym and for canteen. And you could see people go gym and people take a shower and people even go for a swim outside and people keep themselves very fit. And the third floor from the top is more about reading. They have a fantastic library where people go and read. And the last 2 floors, meaning the ground floor and the first and the second floor, are the policing areas. So what happens is you have a system which encourages you to give your best. You have a system which encourages you to work well. So this is the mindset we need. Police stations need not be police stations where you have a floor where somebody is sitting with a chair and you go meet him and come. Police station has to be excellent centers where you have buildings that is self-contained, that is fantastic in its thing. What are we looking? We are looking at how many police stations? We are looking at about 600 police stations in the state of Karnataka. So we are looking at about 2.5 crore for a beautiful system. So which is about 1,500 crore at one shot. Build efficient systems, fantastic systems, so that people who come in get inspired. So this is the first thing that is required. Give them good vehicles, 20 years, 25-year-old vehicle. How can they keep running in a Jeep when the criminals are flying in Innovas and the Cristas and the Pajeros and the other things? That is the thing. And third, insulate them from other political pressure so that we don't have Abhishek Dubes and the other fellows in UP who got patronized by a certain political and the police system for a long, long time. On one fine day, the political system decided he's no more needed. Then he got bumped off or he got genuinely killed. I don't know. We have to wait for the Supreme Court mandated committee report to give its report. I'm not prejudicing anything by saying in an online video. And we don't know what exactly happened. So to do that, systemic changes has to come in which has to hit internal reforms, which has to hit external reforms. If we do one, don't do other, it will fail. So the states have to understand that if they don't reform police, it will create so many law and order problems inside. That is a big headache for the ruling government. They have to have a very bird's eye view. They have to have a larger vision, and they have to have a larger vision of why they have to reform policing. So unfortunately, most politicians have a very short-sighted approach to governance, and this has to change. And many politicians see police as a non-revenue earning department. Police doesn't earn any revenue. If you put same money in a revenue department or a stamp and registration department, so this department can earn revenue. But police cannot earn revenue. So police as a department is spending. We keep spending money because we only collect fines and challans which we pay to the government. So the government nowadays, the trend in the government's mind is, let me put money into departments where the money gets earned and gets returned back to me. So instead of building a police station, why if I buy 2 buses and give it to a corporation, at least the bus will give me revenue. So this is badly needed. Now coming to the linkage of policing to the other parts of the criminal justice system. Now you all know courts is the very important and the final arbiter of justice, which occupies the highest position in a criminal justice system. After that, the police guys, we charge, we give our version of the truth to the court, and you guys go and argue about what you really believe is truth and believe is justice based on your client's discussion with you, confidentiality with you. Then we have the prison department. So where if the court agrees between your argument and our argument that he is a criminal or is a bad guy, we put him in a prison. Now, all this have to work together. If the wheels of justice roll together, the justice gets delivered faster. Now, one option is, which the government is doing now, is to link police to courts. The bail application, which many a time we don't give an objection. So charge sheets, we don't submit on time. Or other necessary documents that we have to furnish before the Honorable Court. Now, Karnataka is a pioneer and many states have taken a pioneering step now to link our police CCTNS. We have a policing system called the Crime and Criminal Tracking Network System, CCTNS. So we are trying to link all the police stations. The government is trying to link all the police stations together and through a common software enabled system. And we understand that the courts also have an internal system where all the courts are linked and everything. Now, one step they're trying to do is link CCTNS to the court. Already some trial has taken place in some districts so that the things can go electronically and there is a free flow between the police and the court. That is number one. And second, with respect to prison also, now I am not a person because I never worked in the prison department and never had I just visited the prison as a police officer. I have my own points of view as a common citizen now. So So I think prison needs a major rehaul in India. The punishment itself has to be about reformation now. So instead of punishing a criminal, which is a common mindset now, we have to talk about reforming a criminal. Because if you see, most of the big criminals are repeat offenders. Person goes to a jail once, he comes out, and then he repeats the crime again and again and again. So he becomes a repeat offender. That's how most of the criminals are. And the other very sorry part is many of the big criminals are juvenile criminals also, below the age of 18. And both the things have to change. In the sense, both the things have to change because the juvenile criminals are becoming bigger criminals because the so-called system into which the juveniles are sent is actually not reforming them. It is acting as a university to behave like a better criminal. This is very unfortunate. Again, the problem in jail, we have seen that many big cases are hatched and conspired inside the jail, and very little evidence to prove that the hard criminals actually gets reformed when he comes out of jail. Very little evidence to prove. Maybe a small criminal, maybe a criminal who has done an act out of rash act or a negligent act, out of anger or passion crime. Maybe those guys get reformed, but hardened criminals, very little theory to prove that he gets reformed. So this is an area where we have to take a very hard look. So it cannot happen with just theorizing and talking. It has to happen with bringing the 21st century psychology, 21st century human behavior. So we got to bring all those elements inside because they're very hardcore guys. And yoga and meditation and treating them with dignity and giving them bail and giving them parole, everything is fine. That is one part. The other part is we got to have fantastic psychologists and fantastic human behavior experts to really understand what goes inside their mind and how can I make an impact. So when these two combine, unless these two combine, I don't see a possibility of a jail getting reformed. So the name jail itself has to change now. It has to be a reformation center so that the stigma is not associated with it. So if all the wheels of justice work together, like police, I mentioned so many reforms, so that if police is able to take care of many issues, I'm sure that courts will also find easy to deliver justice, and the courts will not be overburdened with the faulty charge sheet thing, because when the charge sheet itself is faulty, and even if the criminal has really done a crime, we can't blame the court for giving a faulty evidence, for faulty judgment. And so all those things, when the watertight cases becomes watertight more from the policing side, the courts will have that much breathing space. The honorable judges will have that much breathing space. So the courts the police have to be reformed, and it has to be linked with the court, and efficient and seamless transformation of information, adding to the fact that the psychologist and the 21st century human behavior people have to come inside, and all of this have to work together. Then I see a possibility of a country that really has made a great progress towards reforming criminals, towards preventing crime and catching criminals, all those stuff. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and any questions you have in the next 10 minutes, I'll address it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Annamalai sir, for delivering a very informative speech. And in fact, you have traced the evolution of police system, and also you have given very good suggestions for reforms in the police administration, and also ultimately to deliver justice to the people. So thanks for sparing your valuable time and addressing all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have a few questions I'll be reading out. So the first question is from Dr. Jyoti Vishwanath, Faculty, University Law College. So the question goes as follows. So kindly comment on the impact of COVID-19 on the police officers from the point of view of their rights and social expectations from the police.
Okay, so this is a very unfortunate part, because the Indian police system doesn't allow police to have unions and police to have a free expression of their views. Right or wrong, in a democracy, we have taken a path. If you look at the other democracies like the Australian democracy or the American democracy, the police have unions and police express their right. For example, in this case, we are talking of a workplace. The workplace needs to be secure first, so that our guys can go in and act. And the workplace needs to be protected. And also the workplace needs to give facilities for the police guys to perform the duty. So COVID time, we see that a lot of police guys are plunging into it, because the mindset of the Indian system itself is we will take care of you later, you please go inside, because we can always, if somebody dies, we can always pay money. That's the mindset we have. 50 lakh will give you, 1 lakh will give you, whatever it is. Or we don't really care about whether they're adequately protected, whether the systems are there to take care of them. So that's an unfortunate part. So the whole thing is represented through the senior officers. Since the common guys can't talk at a constable or a sub-inspector or a DYSP level, the senior officers act as the informal bridge between the government and the police department, where they tell the government what is needed and the government gives them what is needed. So though it is there, but I still believe a fair degree of representation has to be given to all the police officers down below, so that their rights comes out. As a lawyer, you all understand the rights is important for anybody. Wearing a uniform, yes, there are some things which you cannot speak. You are constitutionally bound to act. That's all absolutely great. That is absolutely true. But I'm talking about certain rights that is inviolable. Maybe that could be your natural right also with respect to your workplace and other things. So now I also see situations where the police guys are absolutely blind and they have a mask which they themselves have purchased. And many people don't have PPE also. They do all the traffic checks out. I feel sorry for them. And maybe COVID has really exposed this in a different way. And I'm sure that all these things, when it happens, it's just an evolution for the next thing. And maybe the government would also find a way to bridge this gap. Maybe a committee having in each district where all the officers and the men can be part of it, meeting informally, giving suggestions, which can be given a certain legitimacy to all those suggestions, documented, and the government can be forced to act on it. So it is an evolution. I hope it will happen very soon. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So next question is from our Honorable Chairman, Professor Dr. N. Dashrath, sir. Dashrath, sir, please unmute yourself and ask the question orally.
Yeah, very good morning, sir. Very good morning. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very, very good morning. Namaskara, sir.
Namaskara, sir.
My question is, sir, in the recent times, whether the moral policing is overweighing the written text of powers and duties of the police department, sir.
You're talking about moral policing, sir?
Moral policing in the sense is that in the recent times we have been listening number of attacks like lynching and all, and sometimes during elections period, the police department nominates some persons to behave as moral policing for smooth and fair conduct of elections. That is one part where moral policing is used normally. But in the recent times, the public is overweighing its powers as moral policing in the matters of lynching and also. That's what I wanted to have clarification from you.
Right, so what happens, sir, when the police system itself is not very tuned to address to the public need, all those things happen. So what happened? A part among the public who are close to the police, they behave as the police representatives, and they go and stop a cow from traveling, or they go and stop something from traveling. It becomes the police maybe indirectly favors a particular person also. I understand your meaning that only. It becomes a full law and order issue. So that happens when the police is dependent on a certain political party to take care of their transfers and postings, which is specifically the ruling government. And second issues where the outside interference with respect to the police functioning happen is when, because of shortage of policing, so we depend more on the home guards now. Home guards, and Tamil Nadu, we have friends of police, we depend on them. So these guys are also poorly trained, sir. They are poorly trained, and so we force them to do a lot of other police duties. So you see nowadays in the traffic, a home guard guy stands. But if you ask me whether he has got a mask, he has got a helmet, he has got anything to protect him, or is he properly briefed about what to do, probably it is not. And last but not least, in the Corona time, I have seen also that police have recruited public as volunteers to serve and act as ambassadors to tell people what to do, what not to do. So here also the problem is that the volunteers are not trained properly, then it creates a lot of other issues. So some people, without understanding the spirit of why they are drafted by the commissioner of police or by the other higher official, so they start behaving themselves like a police officer stating, you don't do this, don't do. So the public will revolt and say, how can you do this? So this is all boils down to the basic issue of lack of numbers. The Indian police needs twice of its strength now to do a proper good job of policing. The UN mandated per million ratio what they've given, we need twice tomorrow, sir, tomorrow morning. It is not tomorrow, we should have needed it yesterday. We're already late. So all the police force has to be doubled, which is impossible. So what we do is to bridge this gap. So all these short gap arrangements come in. So herein lies the problem, sir. And for this, a very, very serious thought process, a very serious political will. And of course, when the court itself is very adamant that it has to happen, it will happen. So I look forward to a day very soon, not very far, where all those things will happen, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. With the permission, we can have the next question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, there are many instances where police officers have repeatedly abused rape survivors at the time of lodging a complaint, discouraging many women from reporting rape. How do you think this can be reformed? This question is from Rakesh MT, a student of ULC.
Now, what is happening is the police guys are also getting trained with respect to empathy, with respect to their communication and speaking skills. Now, as I mentioned that when the lower constabulary rank is not poorly trained in communication and behavior and other stuff, when they come and sit in a station for about 20-25 years, and by the time a woman goes with a genuine grievance of a case of a very severe nature, like you mentioned, so the first thing that is needed is empathy. Empathy and more than sympathy, empathy is needed, and you allow the law to take its own course. You don't judge, and we don't have any right to be the judgment. We cannot judge things, whether it actually happened, did not happen. So our job is to register a case and to find any circumstantial evidence that favors, or any evidence if it favors them at that point of time. If it favors, immediately arrest. If it doesn't favor, fine hunting for that evidence. Then you arrest. If no evidence is not, if evidence is not there, don't arrest. So basically, the filing of FIR should happen on day 1, day 0, time 0, without anything. So that is unfortunate, because some kind of empathy is not built inside the system. The system needs more empathy. System right now is more masculine, and very little female officers and very little female constables are there. I always keep telling that the government of Karnataka has very wisely made a quota of 33% police constables we are recruiting. That's fine. Over a point of time, we'll be recruiting. So when more women come into the system, they naturally bring with them a kind of empathy. So once empathy comes, the system changes. Because we start treating acid survivors, especially acid survivors, rape survivors, and very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate, because then the role of a state and the role of society is more important to them. For other people, it might not be more important. It might be a ration shop or other facility. But these people, they purely depend on the state and the policing system to give them justice, because it could be a powerful guy. It could be a powerful guy, the opposite guy. So you need independence, you need fairness, you need integrity, and more than that, you need empathy. And which I am saying it is not in good measure now, not in great measure it is available. But having said that, we are fantastic officers. At the same time, I can show you other amazing officers who have gone beyond their call of duty to help people, but they are very little in number. So let us hope to the day where more people come with empathy.
Yes, sir. We'll take this last question, sir, from Vivek R.
Okay. I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. We have just joined, and I would take this opportunity to introduce Sri Annamalai sir to.
Hello, sir.
Our Honorable Vice Chancellor.
Namaskara.
Welcome, sir.
Sir, namaskara, sir. Namaskara, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir. Have you met in Dayanand Sagar?
Yes, sir. It's a big privilege to hear you again, sir. Big privilege, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can go ahead with questions.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. So the next question is, sir, what is your opinion on judicial delays leading to accused persons languishing in jails only to be acquitted later on? Does this reflect the need to ensure that the role of police in assisting prosecution has to improve rapidly?
It's a very tough question, but frankly speaking, I think for the policing system also, we got to find better charge sheets, more scientific evidence. If you look at, somebody told me in UK, 96 out of 100 cases have some sort of a DNA evidence inside. So 96 out of 100. So only 4 cases go without a scientific evidence. India, we hardly have 3 or 4 out of 100. So nowadays it might be 5, 6 in some advanced states. So now science has developed so much. So police is has to make sure that all those things are brought in, where the charge sheet has to be foolproof, because that is the only document based on which all of us argue. And that is the only document based on which the honorable courts can really make up its mind whether something is there or something not there. So a lot of emphasis has to go in making the charge sheet. This is my first answer. And once it is fine and proper, then what happens is many of the cases which unnecessarily goes for higher courts trial, which goes and stays there, which gets logged, it actually comes down. And second is with respect to courts also, I'm the last person to comment about a court because I know courts are also overworking. So they have a lot of case loads. They do it with a lot of urgency also. It's not right to blame a court. But if some cases where a seriousness is more like a POXO case or a rape case, where there is a mandated hearing within 1 year when you have to finish it off, I think the government along with the judiciary has to set up more faster courts so that the hardened criminals don't escape. Like you submit the charge sheet on the 30th day, 60th day, the punishment should happen. At the same time, I've seen fantastic judges in some courts. 7th day, 8th day, they've given judgment. Charge sheet submitted on 30th day, 37th day, they have pronounced verdict, for or against. So both this have to coexist. So some cases, hardened criminals, we have to show a lot of urgency, and they cannot simply use the loopholes in a system to keep staying away. So this is my humble submission.
Yes, sir. We'll have this question, sir. From Suma Suresh Kolagiri.
Can we keep this as the last question, brother? Can we keep this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Thank you so much.
There is a saying in criminal justice system that let 100 guilty be acquitted, but 1 innocent should not be convicted. Sir, what is your opinion on this statement in the light of the current changing crime scenarios?
I think what makes our system great, what also makes our democracy so great is this line. Even if the 100 criminals get acquitted, 1 innocent should not go to jail. Because when we see this in US in the plea bargaining system where people actually strike a deal with most of the criminals, I've seen hundreds of cases where people did not even do a crime. They go to jail for 20, 30 years later, they get acquitted. You must have seen a lot of case studies also. But in India, somehow we say the wheels of justice grind slow, but it grinds for sure. The wheels of justice grind slow, but it grinds for sure. Meaning, it might take some extra time, but we got to be very, very conscious of making sure that innocent shouldn't go. That is a philosophy on which the whole system is built. So I'm fairly okay with the system. So right now you make more courts, you recruit more police, you recruit more judges so that you can give faster justice as well. In the Hammurabi Code of Justice, the oldest Hammurabi king, where he laid down the conditions to give justice, the first condition he said is, any punishment should have a certainty and should have a severity. The punishment should be given within a point of time, within a certain point of time, it should be severe also. Unfortunately, in India, what happens, it is not certain, it takes a lot of time. And it is not very severe also because of multiple appeals. So which goes against the basic tenet of what Hammurabi said. So I would not say that we should change the concept from 1 innocent should not go to jail to the fact that like a plea bargaining, we will keep putting many people in jail. So because US, it has got, the data is right, it has got the highest number of people in jails in the world as of now. So it's better to recruit more guys, recruit more judges, have more judicial spaces so that faster delivery of justice happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for answering all the questions patiently. Over to you, Naman, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Personally, for me, it's a fanboy moment, but I'm sure there are many like me here who are having their fanboy moments. Well, sir, must mention that you already gave us goosebumps when you said you traveled 20 kilometers just to make time for us. That really, really means a lot. Thank you so much for gracing this event and for sharing your intellectual views. It's an honor, it's a privilege to have you and to hear you out, sir. Thank you so much.
God bless you all. Have a great career, be fantastic lawyers and serve our country well. Thank you so much to the Vice Chancellor, sir, and the Principal, sir, for this opportunity. Let God be with you, with all the 300 odd people for your lawyering career. Let a common man get justice from you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Wish you the same in your new ventures as well, sir. God bless you.